Today's guest is Lost Stars, a band out of Nashville. Lost Stars is quickly growing their fan base and has become an artist to watch. Welcome, Lost Stars.
Hey guys.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start back at the beginning. Where are you from and how did music first come into your lives? Let's go individually.
Well, we're both from Kansas City, so that's a good starting point for us.
Nice.
I think like music's kind of like the thing that was like always in the background of my life that I loved, and like took a minute for me to realize that that was like the big picture. Like I remember like my parents playing records for me all the time, everything from like jazz to the Beach Boys to Led Zeppelin and a bunch of other things. And like I was like playing piano from a young age, but it was kind of like casual. And I think around 8th grade I was like, being a songwriter is super cool, I'm gonna just start writing songs. And I started an alt rock band in high school, and I did it with my twin brother and made a lot of friends along the way. And eventually Charlie here became the guitar player.
Oh, nice.
And so
Yeah.
we've known each other from previous bands.
Yeah.
And, I was making plans to, go study at a university, study like business and mathematics and stuff. But, through a lot of like influence from a lot of people around me, and they were kind of just like, why would you do that with your life?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to do music? And I was like, oh, well, I just didn't think that was smart.
That's a thing. Yeah.
But
I feel you on that.
push came to shove, and I was like, well, that sounds like a lot more fun of a life than anything else I was planning on doing. And feel like there's been lots of ups and downs, but definitely reaps the rewards of just lots of great memories. I think that's the best part.
Awesome. What about you, Charlie?
Cool. How did I get man, very similar. Music was just like always a huge part of my life. I remember, when I was little, me and my cousins, we made these like shoebox little guitars where we taped a like paper towel roll to a shoebox and got some rubber bands to it and like just tried playing on those. One year for Christmas when I was really little, Santa gave me a drum set.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was my first instrument technically. It was a drum set, and I woke up before I was expected to wake up, I suppose, and at blank AM, I'm little 4 or 5-year-old me is just downstairs just banging on these drums that I just gotten, and woke my family up, and they're like, all right, I guess it's time to go down and do Christmas gifts. But so that was my start, and it was really just banging on them. I had no idea what a beat was, didn't know what a steady tempo. I'd hit them and go, and it was killer.
I had the pots and pans when I was growing up.
Pots and pans, I love those. But then, then end of grade school, middle schoolish, I started playing guitar, and started taking some lessons, and there was a big group in my class that had all gotten guitars for Christmas, and one of my friend's mom had us over once a week, and she taught us some chords, and it was fun, very fun. And then like Damien was saying, get to high school, playing in the jazz band, the pep band, doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
I played guitar in the wind ensemble, which a little bit of an oxymoron, but it's okay, it happens. And through that I met Damien, and finishing up high school, getting to that, all right, what do I want to do? My plan was, let me go to big state school, probably join a frat, get a business degree, marry a nursing major, yada yada yada. but no, and Damien was a part of, I had conversations with it where it's, well, hey, if you actually like this music stuff, why don't you go for it? And found myself in Nashville, working towards getting a piece of paper that says I know how to play guitar and write songs, and it's pretty cool.
It's just
Pretty
like,
cool.
what else do you have to lose? You know, you only get one life, so it's just like, if you want to screw up, I was about to like curse, but I wasn't sure if that's okay. If you want to screw up your 20s, like you can, and then you can figure it out in your 30s or something, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon,
So-
where are you from? You're from Utah, yeah?
Yeah, we're from Utah, Salt Lake City area.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you guys are from Kansas City.
You know, it's like a lot of similarities.
A lot of similarities.
I mean, there's a stereotype about Nashville that you're going to come in here and everyone's going to be talking like this, and you're going to get a nice warm country welcome and stuff. But honestly, it's got more of a Midwest city vibe. Like, it's starting to remind me a lot of like KC, Chicago, but like just with a little bit of that Southern charm. You know, I think the crazy thing about well, it's not like going down to Alabama or something, but it's like where the city meets the country in like a really cool way. And I think the thing that makes Nashville more special than any place on earth is just like everybody is somehow tapped into the music, and there's like something in the water down here that just makes everyone live and breathe it, and it's just really cool. Like,
yeah,
every coffee shop you go to, every store you go to, every bar, every accounting firm, everybody can play an instrument.
And if they can't, their roommate can.
True.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So taking it back, you two were in a band in high school. First off, what was it like to decide? How did it come to be that you two decided you're going to continue together and then eventually move to Nashville? How'd that all happen and come together?
So, like, I guess that wasn't a thing that we arrived at, because I was kind of packing up and I was like, guys, it's been a fun run in the band and stuff, but I got to go to the university and stuff. And it's like kind of like a bummer, but like, you're just like, you finish your high school days and you move on. And so 2 years down the line, Charlie ends up moving to Nashville. And so we just start hanging out a lot more again, because now we live in the same city. And like 2 years after that, like I was kind of pursuing a solo thing. But before that, like I actually went to school to study drums. So I was like a commercial drum set major, but I was kind of falling out of love with playing drums. And I was falling more in love with production and songwriting and stuff. So at first I thought I was going to like write songs for other people. And then I got convinced that I should start a solo project. And so Charlie was one of the people that I was like, hey, you want to like go play some shows with me and some songs I wrote? And he was like, sure. And eventually, like a couple of those shows led into conversations about like, oh, why don't we form a group?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Cool. So you came to Nashville from school originally. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So in school, Damien's a couple years ahead of me. And by the time Damien had moved to Nashville, I come here just on a totally, my spring break road trip with my dad to Nashville. And it was kind of a, cool, we're going to Nashville. Oh, hey, Damien and his brother are in town. Why don't we try to see them? And that trip, when I was probably 16, 17, it was just this crazy feeling of like, oh, wow, this is where I'm going to spend my life. This is what I want to do. This is, I just saying that, I just gave myself chills. Like, it's wild every time I think about it. Every time I'm driving and I drive past, downtown Nashville, it's like I have really bad eyes and my glasses will, they kind of deteriorate over time. But every single time I drive through there, my eyes just magically go back to that fresh pair of glasses, high definition, see all the lights, see all the details in the skyline. It's
that's so cool.
So cool.
It just feels
so
like
cool.
When we kind of are down here in this energy, it's like kind of like like the possibilities are limitless kind of feeling. It's like something's going to happen here. Like something great can happen for anyone here. Like you put in the work and it's just like the city is just blooming this like most magical way. I mean, like it's crazy how many new buildings have gone up in the last 8 years since we've been here, and like it just feels like, wow, like I don't know where this journey is gonna lead, but you just, when you live here, you feel like you're a part of something special that's happening.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, like Nashville, just, you know, I know we're talking about the city a whole lot, but
That's great.
it's been so stereotyped as a country town, and you know, for a long time it was, and country music is still such a, you know, Nashville country music, they're all there, absolutely. But you know, the past half decade, being a part of this growing pop scene, like pop music, and just at its core, God, it's just so cool. So cool to like be a part of. Oh, hey, you know what I'm doing? We're tides are starting to shift a little bit, and it's not just a country town. You can do whatever, you know, if it has notes and has a melody, that's a song.
Yeah.
Well, I think what is making that exciting and what's happening here and why it kind of feels like something's bubbling up and you're part of something special is like we've got all these people moving here from Florida, Texas, New York City, LA, Colorado, Chicago. And it's like a new melting pot is forming in this town. And you've got people with all sorts of different musical influences, from hip hop to pop to rock to country to EDM, and it's all converging in this one city. And it's like all these buildings are coming up everywhere. There's new food coming in. There's new clothing. There's like new culture just like being injected straight in. And it's just like, wow, like it's such a cool community that's forming around new genres of music. And to be on that wave is just really exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. And it seems to me, just from the outside, that it would make sense that the infrastructure is there for music just as a whole to succeed. Like, you know, there's studios, there's writers, there's places to play, but how they're using it's kind of changing to be more accepting of all different genres like pop and hip hop.
Yeah,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So back when you guys first came together in Nashville, it was Damien's solo project. How did you guys decide to come together and write songs together and be Lost Stars?
I think it was kind of like an up and down journey, because like right at the beginning of that change, like we were a 5-piece band at the time, so there were other people involved, and I think we kind of were just like trying to record and finish out the songs that I had already written. So at first it was kind of like figuring out how the collaboration would work, and we had like way more cooks in the kitchen at the time. And like over the years, it kind of just like, it was kind of like research and development in a way, where it's like you have this idea of what something could be, but it takes so much fine tuning over the years to like really figure out like, who are we, what are we trying to accomplish, and who is Lost Stars? Because we had a lot of membership changes, kind of the revolving door of certain musicians coming in and out, and like at the end of it went down to a 3-piece group, and then finally it came down to a 2-piece. And I think like it just became really easy, because like when I think about music, my story is so like connected to Charlie's that it just feels like this is right, this makes sense, and we know kind of what we want to do now. And it's like,
and it's just, I don't know, like everyone will always have their own path, and I feel very lucky to have my path intersect with so many people the way that it has, through this project, through other projects I've been a part of, and every person that I've ever worked with. I'm just like, there's always something to take away from it. That's okay, that's cool. I want to incorporate that. You know, so many producers we've worked with where we see, oh, that's a really cool little trick that you did, I want to start doing that. And just the collaboration aspect of the music game is incredible. It's so fun. And you know, but it's the yin and yang of it, of all right, yeah, that's cool, but I also have such a personal tie to music that you know, sometimes I do just need to sit in my room, shut the door, and just strum an acoustic guitar and just like, all right, I am in my own world, and just do it for me, you know. And yeah.
But all
That's
of
cool.
those like
But-
experiences like we've had through the last several years, like have been really formative into like telling us like what do we want this to be. And so like all the collaboration that we've had and all the struggles and disappointing shows that we've performed and all the songs that never worked and all the people that we tried to work with that didn't pan out, and every mistake and every, you know, occasion that we've risen to has led us to this very moment right now. And it feels fresh and exciting, and we've got a bunch of great songs in the works because of it, and we're really excited about how this new song that's coming out is starting to pop off on the internet.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, tell us about the new song. What's on its way?
Here's to Being Single is out and available to listen to at April 2nd, 2021. You know, and it was wild, you know, before it was ever released, we started thinking like, all right, it's gonna be probably a couple months before we get it out, you know, whatever. And then one night, Damien comes to me. He's like, "Hey, we should probably do a TikTok tonight. What do you want to do? Let's just go out on the back porch and sing one of the songs that we'd written that we're doing. What one? Let's do Here's to Being Single. That's a fun one." And posted it, and
Overnight went viral. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's wild. Such a crazy experience to have, you know, like waking up and we went to sleep and woke up and now there's thousands of streams to oh crap, it hit 1 million views and like
wow,
that's crazy, you know?
And I think it was a kind of like this really special moment for us because, you know, at the beginning of the year we were just going through a lot of struggles personally, and you know, I think both of us were kind of feeling really down and we weren't really sure how this year was going to turn out for us. And like literally that happened right when I think both of us were feeling really low, and it kind of just like uplifted us in such an incredible way. And to see the song being received so well even before it was released was just like such a momentous thing. And like something about the message, I guess, of the song is starting to really resonate with people. But I think back on when we were writing the song, we were writing the song with a friend of ours named Adam Sickler. He's a writer, an artist, and a producer, and he's so hilarious. He like came in and he's like, "So guys, what? I was thinking about what should we do this morning?" And I was like, I was in the shower and I heard this beat in my head, and like, oh, he's gonna hate me. But he was just like, 4 on the floor, get this. And we were like, what is going on? Like he had so much energy, and he's like, and then we're gonna add some hi-hats, and then we started plucking out some guitar riffs, and it was just such a caffeine like driven moment. And all of a sudden we arrived at like kick, 4 on the floor with snaps, and this guitar part that starts the song, the and then we just kind of sat there for a minute, put that on a loop, and we just started talking about life and
talking about our relationships, these you know, people we're trying to pursue, and like, oh, they'll never fall for me, I'm in over my head, like why can I not, you know, why can't I just let it go, and just all these.
And then Adam was just like, yeah, you guys ever feel like you just screw up literally like any chance you have at like getting a relationship right? You know, it's just like, and it's just like you're like almost about to seal the deal, and then you say something really weird or you do something really stupid, and then it's just like, and you're like, haha, I'm forever single now.
It's like, wait, that's our song, let's write that.
Yeah, so like it was just him like being so like energetic and hilarious, and we really fed off of that this morning. We were just like, what if we just kind of like write this song that's kind of like fun and cheeky and ironic, but also true at the same time about like, yeah, like sometimes in life, like you're trying to make romance work and you like
kind of force it, yeah,
or just screw up because you like got so many things you're worried about messing up. Like sometimes just thinking about messing up is what makes you mess up, or overthinking.
Yeah.
But
and then finally, you know, we hit the chorus where it's kind of like just almost like an F it, here we go, let's just chill, let's enjoy the ride, you know, here's to being single.
Yeah, we went downstairs, took a break for pizza or something, and I think we were just like struggling. We had like the first verse and the pre-chorus, and then we were struggling to figure out the chorus, and we were making jokes about upstairs, like some people were saying something about like cheers and stuff, like, and I was sitting at the piano while people were eating pizza downstairs, and I came back, it's like, guys, like, what if we just lean into that? What if we just say, like, screw it, let's just say, here's to being single. Like, it's like almost like a rally.
Yeah.
And like a hype up moment where it's just like, kind of like, you know, you're single and it sucks maybe, but it's okay. And we're all going to be okay. And we can laugh about it, but we can be fulfilled individuals and make fun of, you know, our mistakes and our worries and our growth that we're going through in life, you know?
Yeah.
And just laugh, you know, not take ourselves so seriously.
We were just telling stories to each other about how, like, you know, when we were getting drunk around girls or something and saying stupid shit and like it would go wrong or something, or like just being nervous and anxious about, you know, wanting love to work. And, you know, we shared so many like horrible, cringy and hilarious stories. And like, that's like kind of the energy that forged the song. And I think everyone, like, it's hard to bring up those things in front of people, but like everyone can relate to the fact that like, yeah, I've screwed up.
To
like,
anyone I've ever dated,
I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. And like just hearing you guys talk about it, it makes sense why it blew up. Like the way you're talking about it, it's so relatable, and it's, you know, and what you guys played, I saw the video, so catchy. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. First off, is this going to be a single or is this part of a compilation like an EP?
Fantastic question.
I think what we're kind of trying to do this year is just kind of release a bunch of singles and just put out a bunch of music. I think we just, people want more songs and we want more songs. It's like every time we get into a session with one of our friends, we write another song. We're like, oh damn, like
maybe we should do
another one
instead. Maybe we should do, yeah.
So we're just gonna
it's
like,
hard.
You know how like Lauv like kind of just kept releasing a million singles in a row?
Yeah.
We might just try to do that, and if it ends up getting packaged into an EP at some point, so be it. But I think right now we're just trying to just keep putting out songs that we think are rad, you know?
I like rad songs.
But people can expect, you know, a lot of new music from us this year, just consistently. Like, we've got a lot of cool things in the works that we're excited about.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned it blew up on TikTok. Has TikTok been successful for you guys as artists? Has it been like a valuable asset to you for growing your outreach? How's that been?
I mean, honestly, it's been like game changing. I mean, especially at the moment where this song blew up, like we saw massive growth in our numbers across the board. We created essentially a new fan base for us out of thin air. And, you know, honestly, we're so blessed and feel so lucky to have such like insane support from these people all across the world, anywhere from the States to Australia to London to Germany to, you know, South America and Asia. Like, wild. Like, very wild. We get messages all the time. We get comments all the time. Like, honestly, the reason why we're putting out this song as fast as we are is because, like, literally TikTok just like stood up and said, release it now. Like, and honestly, there was a little bit of pressure with that. We were like, oh crap, like, they showed up, so we need to show up.
And we're like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll do it. How's April 2nd? And they're like, not soon enough. And we're like, ah!
That's awesome. Was it just that video that blew up for you guys, or did you kind of have to like build your following over time before that video could blow up?
It just was that pretty much. I mean,
we've been
we had like
posting. 10K. Yeah, we've been just posting other videos before then, and I guess maybe 2 weeks, a month before that, we started doing this thing of like, hey, we're gonna post, you know, we went through our old catalog and we're like, we're gonna post our music until did one of those that trend of we're gonna post day one of posting our music till it blows up. And the very first one we did of that was an older song of ours called Legacy, and that had like 75K.
Yeah, that was like the most we ever seen. So like we maybe had like less than 1,000 followers at that point, and then like that helped us grow to about 10K, which was really cool. And then, but we were kind of chilling for a while after that. Like nothing was really popping off. Like TikTok's kind of weird because the algorithm is really just like pushing content that it thinks everyone wants to see. And, you know, it's not like this whole Instagram model idea where you think, oh, now that I'm getting, let's say 300 likes, I can expect to get that same amount every time and hopefully it'll keep growing. But like TikTok's kind of random. Yeah. But once we released Here's to Being Single, like it was like crazy. Like we got like 75,000 followers like in the span of a week just from that video. And then all of our content after that surrounding the song had blown up even more than that initial video. Like when we dropped the release announcement video, like it was insane because we were kind of just like, oh,
the release had, at least as of now, the release announcement has more views than the one of us
playing the song.
I think.
Which was exciting because it's just like, oh wow, like so many people are just excited for this to come out that like the announcement trailer had like almost 1 million more views. It's crazy.
But
that's amazing though. I mean, it's like with TikTok. I mean, you can put out a lot of those videos before, but you never really know what's going to take off. So it's almost like it is worth it to keep putting them out there just in case something does take off like it did for you guys. That's awesome.
Well, it's almost like, you know, how artists for so many years, like they create this work of art that they're going to release and they tease it and stuff, and then they drop it, and then people decide how they feel after, right? I mean, I'm sure they have like friends, other producers, label people, focus groups that kind of like give opinions on what they think of it before it gets released. But like literally TikTok is like a way to beta test your songs to see if people like them even before you release them. And it's kind of weird. It's like the listener tells you what they like and then you just put it out. Like it's kind of a wild concept, but I mean, it's cool because it's just like we know what feels special to other people in a way that we couldn't figure out until, you know, much later or through lots of trial and error.
Yeah, so, that's a good way of putting it. It's like a beta test. I like that.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know, we keep some of this traction that we've picked up. That'd be cool. But like, if not, it's been fun while it's been lasting, you know?
Yeah, and it seems like it's for sure. You know, a lot for you guys to get out there at least. So who knows what'll come of it, but that's exciting either way.
Yeah, we're really stoked about it.
Yeah. So what's your experience been with playing live together?
You know, we've toured a lot.
First gig together was probably at a football game. Pep band.
Oh yeah. Throwing it back to when I was 16.
We did tour together a lot though.
Yeah, we did a lot of shows here in Nashville, but we booked a lot of tours in the Midwest and Southeast and a little bit in the Northeast. So like we would go out and do like these runs, like strings of shows, and you know, bring all of our gear and some other musicians with us, and like, you know, had some really good moments where like we, you know, sold out a venue in Kansas City, and had some really low moments where we played for the sound guy and the bartender in Kentucky. So it's like we've seen it all. Like we've driven through snowstorms, rain, you know,
dead batteries in a snowstorm, had a car die in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, slept on concrete floors
in New York City. Yeah.
I had strep throat when we were sleeping on a concrete floor.
I lost my voice in Indianapolis and in Milwaukee.
Texas is just that whole San Antonio show.
We went to go play a show in Tampa, and then the venue claimed that the guy that booked the show with us hadn't worked there for a year.
That's fun.
That was they were like, we noticed that you're promoting the show that's not happening. We were like, what are you talking about? It's like, you never booked a show with us. I was like, yeah, we booked it through this guy. And they were like, he hasn't worked here in a year. And we were like, what? Like, so I guess some dude was just trolling us for fun. Like, it was so weird. So we showed up to Tampa for no reason.
That's just crazy.
Jacksonville.
Oh, we were in Jacksonville when we got the memo.
Oh, gotcha.
And then later, because we played Tampa though before. Was that a different run?
That was a different run.
That was a different run. Yeah.
Man, so you guys have a lot of experience. Did a lot of that happen before it was just you two, or has it been you two for a lot of it?
No, it was the first part where honestly it was, yeah, more than just us at that time.
Yeah, a lot of those shows were like going on stage with 5 people, 4 to 5 people. So, but now it's just me and him. Like we kind of like just run it, and we've got a friend that plays drums for us on the road, and so that we're kind of like, it's like talking about it's kind of weird right now because the concept of playing a show seems so far out of reach right now with COVID times.
Yeah.
So we haven't really thought about like what is that going to look like.
Yeah.
For over a year now, which is like really sad because like I feel like the kind of music we like to make like shines best when it's on a stage, and like those are some of our best memories. Like even like they sound really
we say all
unglamorous.
these bad things, but there are infinitely more good things than any of the bad that we said.
It's just funny to think about like all the things we struggled through,
all the people we've ever gotten the chance to have a conversation with while we're out on the road. That to me that's one of my, that probably is my favorite part about being a musician, being in a band, is just going to shows, talking to people afterwards, and hearing this mutual experience, of, wow, you changed my life, you changed my life, I changed your life. Like that give and take of it. It's so cool just through this experience of changing some sound waves.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys mentioned the pandemic. How was the pandemic for you guys?
I mean, it's chill. We lived together through it. I mean, we still live together. It was kind of like weird at first because we had 75 dates on the books and they all disappeared, and we were just like, ha, this would happen to us. Oh well. Like it sounds crazy to react that way, but like when you are really trying to pursue a music career, you get told no so many times that like you just are conditioned to not get crazy upset and just keep trucking.
Yeah.
But we just
struggle along. And
we kind of had some songs that we were working on, so we kind of took this time to just focus on writing and producing more music, because it's not like we could really go out and play any of our music anywhere. So
yeah, that's awesome. So I know something a lot of people do, a lot of artists do, is they release a lot of singles to be able to kind of like tone in their sound and find who they are as artists before they release an LP. Even though you guys aren't planning on an LP, would you say that your sound right now is solid enough so that you would make an album off of it, or still trying to like find your sound? Like you mentioned through the pandemic, you tried to like tone in your songwriting. Do you guys think like what your sound is now?
I think the dream one day is to release albums. It's just like, it's so weird living in a world where it seems like people, unless you've got a really deep fan base, people don't really want albums from you.
Yeah.
If you've got hardcore fans, oh yeah, they want an album from you. But like when you're trying to build your fan base, it's really just about like,
I think
content.
We could,
but
I think we could,
I think I think the real thing.
Yeah.
One day soon we will.
I think we're at a.
But we know our sound.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh shit.
No, you're fine.
You guys feel like the pandemic helped you come, closer to your sound and closer to who you are or who you want to be than it was before, or did that affect your songwriting?
Yeah, I think before this, I think we were at a place where like, okay, cool, we are more so at a point of this is what we think like our cohesive sound could be, and we're there. And so to have that, like, cool, that's our mold almost, if you will, have that in its very budding kind of stages throughout this, it's been very cool to like be like, cool, now we have this time to zero in even more. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
more of a laser focus, because I think like so many times we were setting deadlines for ourselves before, just like, oh, we need to get this music done by then. But like in a world where we don't know what the hell is going to happen to anyone everywhere, it's just like, well, might as well take our time and really like hone in on like how can we keep leveling up. Like I think that's like what we're always trying to do, is how can we outdo what we did last time. And so I think now that we really know like what we want out of music, we can just really focus in on just trying to make the best songs and the best tracks that we possibly can, and hopefully somebody out there resonates with it. You know, that's all we can hope for. Is like if one song makes one person feel something, then I feel like at the end of the day we can say we did our jobs.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great perspective. And it seems like you guys, through everything you said, have just a great perspective that you've built up over the years about how to go about music. Like I said, just keep trucking, you know, even though the pandemic, it hurts the whole music business and it hurts everybody, hurts the world. But you guys have the right mindset to keep going forward through that. And it's very commendable. I like it. What advice would you guys have for new musicians, specifically about touring? Like if a musician wants to start touring, but doesn't quite know the first steps or what to expect, what advice would you give them?
I wish that this question was posed at a different time in history.
Yeah.
Because like I really don't like I could tell you what I would have done in 2019, but I don't know what's going to happen. What I will say is that being a musician and doing it for your life takes a level of grit that I don't think many people really have, and they won't discover that until they really get thrown into the lion's den, so to speak, because you're literally offering up your art to a world of people that either don't care or are willing to rip you to shreds about it. And like the first step in being able to even take those songs to the road is impressing the booking agents with your material, because if you've never played a live show, it's not like you can say, oh yeah, well, we've done this many shows in Atlanta and drew this many people. It's like if you're starting from scratch, it's really just about like having the fearlessness to, you know, record samples of your music, send them out to different booking agents, and be ready to be told no 100 times, but just not quit on yourself.
There's such a cliche of musicians, songwriters, like if you can do another job, do that instead of this profession. Like it's so finicky, can be so finicky. And
music's a full-time job that you have to take on while you're doing another full-time job to pay for this job.
Yeah.
That was like a really clunky way of saying that, but it's true. It's like
you saying you get that, Bowie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I get that.
You have to double down on the amount of energy you're putting into your own life's ambitions, because you got to create revenue in order to spend it all on something that might not go anywhere, which sounds like pure insanity. But if you can't rise to that, then it's like that's just the name of the game. Like you can't move forward. So it's like almost like laying yourself on the line.
But you have those moments, you know, you work your day job and you're there and it's like, all right, I'm tired. Oh wait, I have a write tomorrow, and then it just that little, you get a little spark to carry you on. Then you get to wake up and say, cool, my job for today is to talk about my feelings and make them rhyme. And like it's wild. And I'm, you know, I think those of us who work in this field are very fortunate, very, very fortunate, very lucky, very dedicated and passionate, you know. And I think whatever in life, whatever your path is in life, you got to find some kind of passion, I think. Some kind of passion. A lot of, like, stereotypically it would take the form of a creative art, but it doesn't have to be, you know. I don't know where I'm going with this right now. I don't know.
But, anyways, probably that passion and dedication is like essential for you being able to take that music to the road. So like after you get the interest, you get your first couple shows, like it could be at a coffee shop, it could be at a small venue or stuff. Then it's like the layers of things that you need to be proficient at are like very frustrating. It's like so much of what draws us to this career path is like, oh, I want to make cool art and stuff and like and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, then you start having this realization of, oh shoot, it's a business. Yep. I have to market my shows and make sure people show up, because if they don't show up, the venue guy's going to be like, yeah, this kid's never playing here again because we had no sales for food or alcohol or tickets or merchandise.
The idea of being told no, though, is also a very good thing, I think, when you're just getting going, because if you want to go and play a show, you have nothing to lose besides being told no.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hump. If you can get over that, if you can have this mentality of worst thing they tell me is no, you'll be in such a better place. Because if you what's so hard about the career path is like you hype yourself up for these things all the time and think like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna play this show and some person's gonna walk in the room and like they're gonna discover me and then want to work with me, and there'll be some producer, and it's like everyone has this like crazy fantasy that I guess people get from like movies or TV shows or something, and it's just like, no, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna play the show, and you might like sing off key for a little bit, you might forget the words of your song, you might like say something that you feel like embarrasses yourself, or not a lot of people show up, or everyone was talking in the middle of your songs and then they waited for the other person to play. Like you're gonna have to deal with so many people. It's like it's not like so many people are out to get you. It's more of just like
people don't care.
Yeah, you gotta pique people's interest, and it's so hard, and you have to work at it for so many years until all of a sudden you matter. And then that's the funny thing about the here's to being single stuff. It's like all of a sudden we've got all these people saying, "Wow, like this is so awesome!" Like blah blah. It's like
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, and it's just like when you think about it, it's like we weren't really doing anything different.
It's just
before that.
Eventually, you know, like
it's just eventually it works out once you put the time in. But putting the time in is so hard.
There's this theory of if you had an infinite amount of time and you put 100 monkeys in a room together and gave them a typewriter, they will eventually write all of Shakespeare's works. Where you like just if you keep doing something long enough, the results will come to fruition, you know.
Yeah,
it's just having that tenacity to keep going. You know,
Bowie, how do you relate to that topic?
Oh, so much. You know, like I mentioned before, like before the interview, me and Hunter were in a band together, and you know, it's so funny just ringing so many bells of what we've been through with like having people talk during our shows, you know, having just a sound guy we're playing to, stuff like that. And there's even stories out there like 21 Pilots. I mean, I heard their story somewhere where one of their shows was literally them at a Mexican restaurant, and their only audience member was the other band at the time, who was Walk the Moon. And that was it for them. Yeah. And they played to each other. And now they're like, Walk the Moon at a #1 single, and 21 Pilots is selling out arenas. So it's like you start out in the dumps, but if you keep going at it like they did, you're going to get somewhere. Just have to stick to it. So I love what you guys are saying.
Right. And it's that stick to it part that like is honestly the biggest challenge of the whole gambit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, love what you guys are saying.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you want to do music, you just gotta mean it, and mean it like your life depends on it. I think there's just no other way to make it happen. Unless you like really just love music and you want to do it in a casual way, which is also a beautiful thing. It's like getting together with friends on a Friday night and pulling out an acoustic guitar or whatever, and just like
you don't have to devote your entire life to play music if you don't want to.
No, exactly. Yeah.
You know, we keep saying like you have to blah blah blah, like it's this drudging road, and it absolutely can be if that's what you want your life to be, if that's where you feel like your life is. So we're saying all this from that angle, and we don't want to be knocking any other
casual musicians out there.
Not even like maybe
music
casual.
Lovers.
Yeah, just if you find joy out of something, do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like you guys saying, you have to treat it like a business. It's like if you're not going to, I know some musicians go to school for it. Some decide to, opt out of college or whatever from do music, and that's great. But I still feel like whatever path you take, whether it's college or music or whatever, you're going to have to learn how to deal with criticism in a productive way, not just say, I'm God's gift to earth. My songs are always right. You have to be able to say, okay, this guy knows something. This guy knows something, and you have to be able to work on yourself and treat it like a business and like put the time in, put the effort in, and keep learning, and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys.
Yeah, go.
What are you guys excited for? What's coming up?
What are we excited for?
Yeah.
Everything.
I don't know. It's just like
everything.
I think we're excited about not knowing what's going to happen, which
Yeah.
is such a weird statement to make. But it's just like we put in the time. We've got all these songs that we're like ready to release when at a moment's notice almost, and it's just like we're going to ride the wave of whatever the year brings for us at this point.
The wave of whatever.
Honestly, though, it's like crazy. It's like this single is out now, but like it's going to be exciting to see where that takes us. I think that like this first song coming out this year is going to be like the hinge of where everything goes. So we don't really know what's going to, we're just excited to be here. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think I can speak for Damien on this too, but I know for sure, at least, like to be where we're at in like music lives and as well as our personal lives and just this growth, this journey that we're finding ourselves on, that so long as, the wave of whatever, that's my new favorite concept. I'm excited for wherever it takes me, I'm excited for it, and I look forward to where I end up, whether it's, this, we put this single out and it gets 5 streams. Darn, that's not what we were hoping for, but hey, that's 5 people who heard a song that I made. It's cool. Yeah, laugh at me.
That's awesome. And it sounds like, there's a lot of unknowns, but it sounds like you guys prepared for what's coming. And that's, a really exciting thing is just to know you guys have come this far and have learned this much, be able to say, whatever comes at us, we're going to make it work. So that's awesome, guys.
Yeah, I think that's very poignant. I think that's exactly how we feel. We don't know what's going to happen, but like whatever happens, we're going to roll with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Hey, it's been good to talk to you guys. I've appreciated your time, and you guys have a lot of great points. I think people are going to love it.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Bowie. Thank you so much for asking us to do this.